If you're a van lifer, nomad, vehicle dweller, even a part-time RV traveler, or you're just considering doing it in the future, listen up. There is a new policy that just dropped, and it's going to affect us nationally. I genuinely fear for the future and the validity and the safety of van life as an alternative lifestyle moving forward in the US. I'm not here to fearmonger. I'm just here to educate and keep all of us on the same page. So please listen up. We are Bamboozled. I'm Kyla, my husband is Andrew, and our dog is Gunner. We are a full-time van life couple that is non-nomadic, meaning we're stationary in one singular area because we have careers and, quite frankly, we don't want to do van life forever, but it's what we have to do for now. On July 24th of 2025, our current administration signed an executive order about crime and disorder on the streets. And while it's meant to target homelessness and encourage public safety, it actually affects vehicle dwellers, van lifers, and nomads. We are no longer seen as a separate lifestyle from homelessness. It's really terrifying to know that even though me and my husband have careers, we're educated, we're not on substances, we don't have mental health problems, we're simply doing this lifestyle because we don't want to have the majority of our income go to a rental. We're trying to save up and buy land, and this is really a vessel to better ourselves. And there's so many other of you out there that wanted this alternative lifestyle. You didn't want a home. You didn't want sticks and bricks. Maybe you wanted an RV or a built-out schoolie to travel the nation and see it. Well, now we are being looked at as vagrants, as a danger to the community and a danger to ourselves simply because we live an alternative lifestyle. This executive order encourages cities to crack down on things like urban camping, loitering, and even people sleeping in vehicles, which means we could be treated the same as someone living on the streets, even though we're just traveling or living on the road legally. Now, here's the kicker. The government is offering federal grants to cities that enforce these policies. So these cities that restrict van lifers or crack down on street camping could get extra funding. So what does this mean for us? Well, the pressure's already on. Cities like San Francisco, Los Angeles, and Denver are increasing parking restrictions. You've probably seen it. No more overnight parking signs, fewer and fewer places to park at night. San Francisco just enforced a 2-hour parking rule. They have a program where they want to buy back people's RVs. I'm not really sure where they're supposed to go. I'm not really sure how buying back their RV and now they have nothing to live in really helps if you're trying to keep people off the street. Here's what keeps me up at night. My husband and I got into van life because rent was too expensive. We initially started out with no other option than to live in our 2005 Honda Pilot. We always had jobs. We always paid our taxes. Our license and registration was always up to date. We just could not afford the cost of living. But under these new policies, the line between who's considered a threat and who isn't is not very clear. Cities are being encouraged to move people off the streets, and some officials are now talking about forced treatment or institutionalization for those unable to care for themselves. This language worries me because I'm not sure who is in charge of determining that and what the parameters are for determining that. I completely understand if someone is having a mental health crisis, they're in full-on psychosis, and they're using substances, and they're a danger to themselves and other people in public. I absolutely understand that letting these people just run freely is not good for them or for the community. But what if the government says, just by you living alternatively and not conceding to paying an exorbitant amount of money in rent or purchasing a home, you are now a danger to society. You are now a danger to yourself and everybody else. What if a local officer thinks that just because I'm living in my van, it means I'm a danger to the rest of the community? What if they separate us? What if they impound my vehicle, take my home, put my dog in a kill shelter, and I'm institutionalized. I'm not trying to be dramatic, but these are very real fears for people living responsibly outside of the traditional system. And that's why I think we all need to stay informed and keep talking about this calmly, but seriously. In a minute here, I am going to touch on some solutions to just get by for now, but I would like to thank everyone if you're still watching. I know this is very, very heavy subject matter, and I am not always this serious when it comes to my content. Please don't forget to subscribe. We have a lot of awesome travel vlogs, travel guides, hiking footage, and really just glorious, wonderful times that we've had while living this lifestyle. And I do want to share not just the real and the raw, but also the good stuff. So please feel free to go check that out. So what should you do right now? There's no need to panic. You need to stay informed. You need to know the local laws of where you're traveling to or where you're currently staying at. Some cities have 2-hour parking rules or no overnight parking areas at all. The more mobile you are, the better. In my case, we live in one singular area. My husband has a career at a physical brick and mortar job. So for us, it's a little bit trickier, but where I'm at currently is not cracking down quite as hard as other regions. Ironically, I'm East Coast, and West Coast seems to be cracking down the worst right now because the West Coast truly used to be the mecca of van life. So you want to keep your van looking like a van. Don't make it look abandoned, but also don't make it look like you're living there indefinitely. If you're parked in a place that feels iffy or close to a tourist area, it's best to move on. Be as discreet as possible. If you are in a highly populated area or a bigger city, try not to make a spectacle of yourself. Don't have your doors wide open. Don't be showing off all of your bells and whistles. Try to keep your front seat, dashboard, and driver's area looking like a regular van. When you go somewhere to sleep at night, you park, you're not getting out, you're not walking your dog, you're not playing music, you're putting your window covers up, silence, wake up early, and leave. Unfortunately, even during the day, that is when I have received the most harassment and negative attention from security or law enforcement. I don't know if there is an easy solution for such a convoluted problem. I feel like this is an infringement on our rights. I feel like we are moving backwards in time. It terrifies me that because I won't conform to a traditional lifestyle of renting or purchasing a home, one of which is not even viable for me currently, and the other would put me in a horrific financial position, thus probably putting me legitimately physically on the streets with nothing. I am at risk for being arrested, for being put in some type of rehab facility. Just because we live alternatively doesn't mean that we need to be rehabilitated. So the very general broad wording on this executive order truly concerns me. And regardless if you live in a vehicle or not, it should concern you too. We're losing our rights. This is not freedom, people. Join van life communities and stay connected. We're stronger together. If we all know the risks and share tips, we can help protect our way of life. Van life has always been about freedom and adventure, and for some, just pure survival. But now more than ever, we need to protect that freedom. And I'm not trying to scare you. This is something we all need to be aware of. Have you seen these new restrictions or experienced problems parking in your area? Drop a comment and let me know how you're handling it. And if you want to stay updated with all the latest van life news and tips, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Next week, I'm going to show you how we're still managing to survive doing van life and kind of lighten it up a little bit. We went on a boating trip with our friends and our brakes failed going down a hill. That was super fun. We ended up getting a hip camp in Tennessee, and it was a mom and pop style RV park that was kind of a homestead, and it was very inspiring, and it gave us a lot to dream and look forward to, and really just keep going for our future goal. Stay safe out there and don't get bamboozled.